Hey Soul Tribe, welcome to the week ahead. I've already gone ahead and done a pre-shuffle, and I got a bit of a juicy story for you. There is somebody within your energy. They're doing something what looks like on the down low. I got the card of nightlife hanging out underneath the card of legality. There's someone who's within your energy. They need to take a gamble on something, whether if it's seeking out legal help or stepping into something brand new. We'll find out here in a moment, but they're doing it on the down low. And the only hesitation is that it could put them into a situation where they're going to be alone, but somebody within your energy needs to take a leap of faith. So we're going to dive in and see if this has to do with you or has to do with you getting away from this particular energy. Whoa. So, if we haven't met yet, my name is High Priestess Berry, psychic medium and divine channeler, hoping to bring you a very interesting message. Now, always remember, my messages are candid, unscripted, but they are also timeless, so please tap into your instincts. Listen to your intuition. If there is anything that I talk about that doesn't make any sense, totally fine. Do not worry about it. This message may not be for you, but if it does resonate, please let me know by liking and sharing your experience in the comments below. So I'm just going to keep shuffling until we can lock in to whatever it is that's been going on. We're going to have a look at where it is that you left off. What brought you up to this current situation? We're also going to be asking, what is your subconscious goal, your intention for this upcoming week? We'll have a quick look at what your mood possibly could be and actions that you could be taking within the 3D. But what's kind of cool and unique about my particular readings is that I do split the timelines because all of you are unique and all of you are different and are dealing with different individuals. So we'll have a look at how each of you could be manifesting a couple of different timelines, and we'll do that with a pick a card. But oh, we got a bit of a glow up. Okay, a big glow up because underneath their apology. Ooh, it's sort of this feeling like this person, they know. How do I phrase this? Because again, like we're already dealing with a couple of different timelines. You're dealing with a different type of person. But if this is going to be about you, there's something about an apology, recompensation, even just getting some clarity on a situation that's going to elevate you. There's someone within your energy that does want to take things up to the next level. But I'm feeling a little bit of caution in this energy because it's one of these feelings where if it feels too good to be true, you do need to listen to that. But I think a few of you, you've grown so much, you're elevating, you're glowing, that your intuition is actually healing, even if you're having a difficult time communicating what's going on. Whenever I go to channel you guys, it's kind of fascinating. Daydream. I keep losing my voice. There's this person you've been dreaming about, daydreaming about. I think a few of you feel as though something is happening, something is going to happen. You haven't quite seen it yet within your 3D. And I think a few of you are just worried that your head could be up your ass. And I feel like you're trying to be accountable to yourself. Take a time, delay, procrastination, too busy. I was gonna say, like, there is a compliment for you in here. There's something you've been waiting for, something that you've been manifesting, and this feels like a week where you're going to figure out if it's going to happen or if it's not. And I really feel like this is going to be the week where you figure out exactly where it is you need to go. Where is it that you left off last? Envy, resentful, competitive, discontent. I feel like this is somebody that you're done with. They have been gaslighting you, they have been dismissive, and honestly, just really inconsistent. What is your goal and intention this week? Exhausted. Like, I feel like you guys have just come back from a battle, and whether you've been coming back from traveling or in some ways it's kind of this feeling like, take the example for what it's worth, but there's so much baggage and you need to get this person out of your life. I think you have removed them from your life and you just know that you have to pour in all the effort to remove them because this person won't remove themselves. Like, this could be a little bit on the extreme side, evicting somebody, kicking somebody out of the house. just taking all of their shit and putting it on the lawn, hoping that they take the hints. It's that kind of feeling. What's your anticipated mood? Established. Ooh, this does feel good. Settled, secure, wealthy, and what is your intentions in the 3D boundaries? Oh, guys, oh my God. Like, whatever this daydream is, whatever it is that you have been actively trying to manifest. Oh, this is interesting. I'm actually being more drawn to grab the moon oracle at the base before I go to shuffle. The answers you need are coming. I love this. There's been a little bit of a leap of faith. Something good is incoming. And I think subconsciously you've recognized that in order to receive whatever the hell this is going to be, you've had to remove certain energies from your life because if you well, let's talk positively here. When you get your dream, when the thing that has been on a time delay release is finally complete, you're no longer going to be susceptible to envious energies because look, you have the intention to be established. You know that whatever decisions that you are going to be making, you have everything to do so that you know that you can make wealth, keep wealth, and not have to feel guilty about it. What do we have right here? Don't let the past hold you back. A lot of you guys have been releasing so much past life karma on this envious person. We have full moon in Virgo. You are good enough. This person never made you feel good enough. And as a result, you were subconsciously pushing away your absolute dreams. And this person, honestly, well, I'm making jokes about, throwing stuff out on the lawn. This could have been like a parent that you had a huge argument with that made you feel as though you were never going to amount to something. This could have been a lover or even a boss. And it's burned you out because it's as though you've been placating to the wrong energy, trying to prove yourself to the wrong person. What do we North shit, this message is beyond divinely guided. South node, north node. And that is an indication, even though it says step out of your comfort zone, it means that you have been so far out of alignment that you've been dedicating your energy into situations that were not meant for you. These people, this person, this situation has been draining the shit out of you because they never wanted you to elevate. What do we have at the top? Nothing will come of this situation. Take it in. Take in. Nothing will come of this situation. And I really feel like for this card, it's like you've had to recognize this. You may have had other people trying to tell you this, but hey, take it from someone who's been in an abusive marriage. Like, when people tell you you're in an abusive situation, just because they say that doesn't mean you absolutely believe it. There's something that you've needed to see about this toxic situation with this person because you you've been accused of being certain ways. You have felt as though you're not worthy. You had these ideas that maybe you have to align with, semi jelly people just because that's what you do. And it's just put you into this perpetual state where you're constantly trying to prove yourself to the wrong energy and it's drained you. But with this card of established, settled, secure, wealthy, because you remember earlier when I was pre-shuffling and we had that card of isolation, it's this fear and risk that going out on your own could make you impoverished. But there's this realization I think you guys have had quite recently that's made you recognize that it's absolutely okay to put yourself out in the cold temporarily because at least when you're by yourself, you're free. There's an ask within here this week to get into your flow state. Can you start living your life as though this person doesn't exist, as though they never have a say in your day-to-day life? There's a semblance of freedom that you're walking into. There's that full moon Gemini energy again. The answers you need are coming. Like you've had this internal communication with yourself. The consulting with the me, myself, and I, if you will. What do we have at the top? Take time to breathe out, disseminating moon. Like, here's one thing about being wealthy. Wealthy people who are healthfully established, and I mean healthfully established, They got time to relax. They got time to go for a drive. They got time to go to the spa. They have time to go to the museum. They have time to go for walks in the park. Like, wealth is about having everything that you need in order to have the best possible life. You've been trying to be rich, but when you're rich, you're constantly trying to make more money and you don't actually know how to govern money when you're rich. But when you're wealthy, it's able to build upon itself. It's well managed. You can still be very generous, but you don't have to be generous with people who are constantly making you second guess your value and your worth. Let's have one quick look at boundaries here before we split the timeline, because you've had to put up a boundary to this because this is what has been getting in the way of your wealth. But originally, you got into this more than likely because you thought you had to have this alliance in order to get your wealth, and you had it backwards. And that's just because you didn't know how to defend yourself. In a lot of ways, I think you just tolerated a lot of disrespectful banter with this person, and that was just normal. Like, there's some kind of family habit that or even just growing up as a kid, maybe you had a semi decent family and you were bullied as a kid. Like, there's something that made you feel as though you couldn't put up your boundaries because it wouldn't matter. That's what bullies do. Bullies, they create their own self-fulfilling prophecy. They go out of their way to make you feel like shit about yourself so that they can bring you down to their level. And then when you try to establish your boundaries, they try to make you feel stupid, or they try to make you feel like a boundary is pointless. And then, unfortunately, especially if we are kids and we accidentally believe this particular lie, we think, okay, well, maybe these people are important to our growth. And this is a lifetime misalignment that you don't need to subjugate yourself to anymore. New moon in Cancer. You are loved. You and your loved ones are safe. Like, I think a few of you've had to speak up on behalf of even your own family. Like, I've talked about this in recent readings where abusive people, what they do is they try to alienate you from support. So even if you have a loving family that does take care of you, bullies and narcissists and abusers, what they do is they make you believe that your family doesn't like them and they know that they have your loyalty, and then they create dissent and sow chaos and make you think that your family is against you. They make you believe that your community isn't that great. They make you think that your closest friends are your enemy. Like, there's all kinds of ways this person has gone out of their way to remove you from a semblance of support. And it's difficult because the people who are still trying to support the abuse victim, they'll try tooth and nail to help them, but it comes to a point where even the support will fall away, because even if someone loves and supports an abuse victim, they have to walk away eventually because it's falling on deaf ears and it's causing their exhaustion. You've been going through a very dark period of your life that's made you feel as though you can't be safe, your wealth can't be safe, or that maybe your family won't be safe as a result. Like, what do we have up here? Your commitment is being tested. Like, the one thing you're gonna have to bear in mind for this particular week ahead, it sounds like this person still has some access to your energy. And even if you have removed them physically from your life, like, you could have them blocked on social media, you could have a restraining order against this person, regardless if it's that extreme or not, you're going to have to pay attention to your mindset. You're going to have to make sure that this person does not get a chance to live in your mind rent free. Because if you've magnetized a person who behaves this way, it's mostly because when you were a kid, fawning trauma, if you've ever heard of it, if you have a fawning trauma, it means you're nice to everybody and you try to be everybody's friend because you're so desperate and scared from being bullied that you feel as though you will be safe if you were everybody's friend. But unfortunately, and we always learn this the hard way, not everybody truly is going to be your friend. And it turns into this conflict, especially if you've had parents where you tried to get advice from or teachers and they're like, well, they're not your friends now, are they? And that that advice just wasn't as helpful as you thought it was technically going to be. Wow. So at this point, what we have to do is split the timeline because you guys are all unique and we have to see what is going to be happening with this external energy. So let me go ahead and clean up the board and let me get you prepared to figure out which timeline you're going to be on for this particular week. And listen, guys, if this is already hella beginning to resonate with you, please make sure to take a moment to send me a quick comment on how this could be making sense to you. When you interact with my readings, it gives me permission and consent to read your energy. Consent is key, and it's going to be important that if you want me to read your energy and help you through this particular situation, having that engagement gives me permission to speak to your guide so that I can get some high level higher power messages that will help you through this. So thank you so much for your participation. We're going to go ahead and split the timeline. And a quick little message here. This card popped out. I'm going to put it off to the side here, but don't let pride get in your way. This particular week will be challenging your fucking ego because whoever it is that's trying to get your wealth, here's the thing. Technically, you're already wealthy. In the astral realm, you have infinite abundance and you have access to this, but you have guides and ancestors that have temporarily disconnected you from this in order to protect you. So bear that in mind. This week is not going to be easy. We do have two options here. We have a six of coins on one side, and underneath there, we do have the fool. There is an opportunity that I think someone is incoming that's going to be able to generously give to you. But we also have on the other side a five of swords along with a six of swords. And for those of you on that timeline, there's a risk that someone's going to come back and try to get back into your energy. But here's the thing. I don't want you to pay attention to this. I need you to pay attention to these two cards. I have a very different way I do pick a cards, mostly because it's fun, it's interesting, and it keeps everybody a little bit curious. I have two cards, and I want you to pick one of these. I've got Pig Spirit, use your mind wisely. And I also have Bee Spirit, sweet results await. Are you going to be part of the Pig Spirit Club or are you going to join the Bee Spirit Club? So, what I'm going to do, just pick one, two, three, four, bam. All right. Whichever animal has landed which where will determine which timeline you're going to be on this particular week. And don't worry, like if you got the timeline that you weren't hoping for, you can still sneak a peek what's going on with the other end. There's still going to be helpful information to you. But nonetheless, card number one, Pig Spirit, use your mind wisely. And then pile number two is going to be the Bee Spirit. Go check out the description below and we'll be able to jump right into your reading. Why, welcome in, my little piglets. It's going to be important for you to really think about where your mind is going at this time. A lot of you are still struggling with a little bit of projectionary feelings as though you are not worthy enough. And remember, we saw earlier a little envious little fuckwad over here. uh, be very aware of what your mind is being sort of like where is your mind drifting off to, because this energy still has a risk of following you around like tissue paper stuck to the bottom of your shoe if you allow it. And the worst part is this energy will make you feel guilty about being told that you allowed it. Does that make any sense? A few of you guys are still going to be dealing with a little bit of an internal struggle during this week, and it's only coming up for your greatest and highest benefit so that you can be aware. Like anything that makes you feel like shit, as though your vibration's getting lower, and that could feel like your heart's getting heavy, you're being drowned in a bog of your despair. That's low vibration right off the bat. A lot of us can struggle with being addicted to that feeling and just want to live within there because it feels familiar. But there's something about this week about you understanding your thoughts versus other people's thoughts and being totally comfortable of listening to yourself. You should be listening to yourself. And part of the reason you got into this situation is because you thought you should be listening to other people. And it's put you into a very devastating circumstance. So, at the base, before I go to cut, this isn't just a person. This actually sounds like a community of people. Like, what type of community is this? Confused. Here's the thing, you've been getting advice from people where they're just making it up as we go. And yes, of course, we're always making things up as we go. But these people that you've been associating with, you got connected to them because they don't know what they want out of life. And there's all kinds of different feelings of, yes, like I can have it all. No, you shouldn't have enough. Yeah, I got to stick to what it is that I know. And oh, if I look pretty, I'll get everything. Or maybe I should pick true love, but not knowing what true love is. Like, oh, my stomach feels really anchored in. So I think a lot of you guys are going to be dealing with some solar plexus issues around this time. So pay attention to what it is that you're eating, I'm being told. Ten of Swords, having to put an end to it, putting an end to negative mindset and being way more aware of when you're mean to yourself internally, you magnetize people who are mean to you externally, and it gives you the false sense that you deserve this. What else we have? Knight of Cups. This is putting an end to romantic and loving, creative based partnerships that have made you feel as though you have to align with them in order to get your money. And for the days where this is going to feel the most difficult, just remind yourself, how much debt are you in emotionally, medically, and financially? Like, how much debt has this person put you into now? Not how it felt at first. They may have led you to believe, or maybe good things happened at first, but you have to look at the results in the here and now. Three of Wands. I'm sorry, this person is looking for an opportunity to either re-enter your energy or get away from you. I'm going to clarify this, but I want to get some comparison first with you. Queen, okay, Queen of Coins. Remember we saw a little bit of that glow up? Tell me more about this Three of Wands. Like, I don't like this energy whatsoever. This person's trying to use you to climb the ladder, and they're trying to use you to put you underfoot because they do see your potential. And just because you haven't reached it yet doesn't mean it's not there. Remember earlier I was saying, because we did see this full moon Leo, don't let pride get in your way. Um, this person is doing whatever it takes to keep you underfoot mentally so that you keep giving to them. This person's more than likely a survivor. They may even have a legitimately sad story. I was talking earlier in the core reading about being a bully, but bullies are bullied. And, you can have a little bit of sympathy, but there's an ask within here. You need to break the cycle. And I think a few of you have struggled with being the bully in order to protect yourself from this bullied energy. And the only way you can break it is stop. It's like, stop behaving like the bully. Don't play their game. Even if you're trying to show them how much of a bully that they are being, by you acting like a bully, it's as though you've been trying to show this person how karmic they are, trying to reflect their energy at them. It's sort of a twist on do unto others as you would have done unto you, but you're doing unto them as they are doing unto you, and you've had it backwards. And that methodology isn't as effective as you might have originally thought. Time, eight of this is like slow, 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 quick. It's kind of like this person took their time to make a decision, took their time to get some shit together. And now that you're leaving, they're suddenly trying to change. Warning, if somebody's personality suddenly shifts before your eyes, you need to see it, because this person's masking, they're pretending, they're an actor in their own reality. Daughter of Cups. So I think we saw a card of an apology earlier. This is a stage of the abuse cycle. You get into an argument, you decide to break it off, but then you try to, make up. This person's going to try and make up with you. What do we have? Seven. Is that, yeah, but that was what was showing at the base over here before we went to cut. Like, it's one of these things, well, I'm sorry that I yelled at you, but you're kind of weird this way, and you're like that, and you're like this, and you're like that. Pay attention to it, even if they are behaving this way, because your community behaves this way. This person's community behaves this way. Remember, I was saying earlier, abusers try to take their victims away from any semblance of support. And it's this person, they probably have made you more involved with their community than they have been involved with yours. And if they have been involved with yours, and if they had this energy, oh boy, this person has really put their foot in it and they've tried to make themselves into some semblance of a leader, or they've tried to play the victim. What else do we have? There's playing the victim, Daughter of Swords. It's one of these things where you should always believe the victim. So if you're being magnetized towards stories about people being accused after the fact of being a bully, being an abuser, and having to do some investigations around it, that's your clue to let you know that the universe is trying to work with you on something. But this person, sure, they're a victim of some kind of circumstance, but it has nothing to do with you. They've dragged you into it, and they're trying to make you fight all of the wrong battles because they're trying to keep you. They're trying to manipulate you into sticking around because this person doesn't know how to operate on their own. This person's haunted by something from their past, and the only way they know how to make things better is to treat you the way that they were treated. So they were bullied. You can acknowledge this person as a victim, but they don't exactly have much clout because rather than trying to get self-aligned, trying to get the help, trying to seek out their internal guidance and seeking out quote unquote professional help, they made you a part of their problem, and now they've tried to subjugate you. Here's the thing though, you are a fucking Queen of Pentacles. You are already a very generous person, and I'm sorry, this snake energy is this karmic individual that has done everything it can take, done everything within its power to seduce you, to hypnotize you, to make you check out from your own reality so they can snag just the initial fruits of your labor. Because we see the Seven of Pentacles. It's one of these things where there's a time and a place and a season. Like if you're going to be harvesting fruit off of a tree, certain times of the year, most trees do not bear fruit. They have to go through a rest period, and then they have to go through a blooming phase, and then they have to go through a growth phase. And then finally, when they're ripe, then you can pick it. But this person, what they do is they pick you at the blossom phase. So it's like if you pick out the flower, you can't get the fruit. And then this person just blames you for not being fruitful. This has been a very damaging relationship that you guys have been in. And the only reason it's coming out is because a few of you guys, you're struggling as though you've been questioning your reality, asking, how the hell did I get into this situation in the first place? But if you're really knee deep into this abusive situation, it's difficult to leave because it does feel like a big, huge gamble. It does feel as though you'll never have money ever again. But this person, like I said, they took everything from you before it had a chance to come into fruition. And then they made you believe that it was your fault. This person, they're a blame shifter. They play the victim and they don't take any responsibility for their actions. So circle back. Did you hear what I said earlier about you being the bully? Um, you are being very heavily warned at this time. Don't behave like this person. You may have subconsciously started behaving like them because you sort of just wanted to show them, hey, how does it feel when you get treated this way? This person is so accustomed to being bullied and abused. It's just a game and they won't listen to it. If you're doing that, stop it. Like you're not a bad person for it, but you're feeding something that is making you broken and confused. And a lot of people get lost just in that particular game, in that matrix programming, and then they forget why they got into the situation, and then the abuse cycle continues. So much clarity about the karmic issues that you have been facing, about Three of Cups that came back, about the community that has caused confusion for you. This isn't just one person. This is a lifestyle. This is a habit. This might have been the way you thought the world was supposed to be. Um, it's going to be very important that you take governorship of your emotions. Again, don't be this person. Don't behave like them. You're being encouraged at this time. You have to be very reserved about what emotions you wish to give. If this person apologizes, but they come back and it's a very disappointing apology, just say, okay, that's an apology, and just leave it at that. What else we have? We got the sun. When we have the sun, along with this beginning of clarity, there's something to be said about just taking a step back, understanding what your thoughts actually are, and differentiating from this, whatever this is supposed to be. When you don't feed it, it makes itself known because it's sort of as though you tried to feed it, but then it hides. And then you try to poke at it and then it hides. And there's something about allowing this feral energy to show its its ugly head, like its ugly head, and in some ways allow it to. Oh, this is sort of like it's not quite entrapment, but in some ways you're allowing the energy to carry out something in order to prove to your brain that this person truly is abusive. There we go. Like that was a little bit earlier. This Eight of Wands showed up with this person. Just something about this particular week, like keeping yourself so reserved, keeping to yourself, keeping your cool, managing your own fucking energy and just you. There's something about you need to be very much towards yourself at this time, and it's going to illuminate and it's going to give you permission to do whatever it is you need to do in order to end this fucking cycle. So we got to ask the biggest question of all, TGIF. What kind of Friday can you look forward to after a week of sitting back and allowing this person just to sort of run themselves in circles? Just because they apologize, it doesn't mean that you have to accept them back in. You can just say, well, thank you for your apology, because this person just wants to apologize to manipulate you back in because that's the only way they know how to do it. And you have to just accept this person for who they are and where they are at. But that said, after a week of having to deal with this bullshit, how are you going to feel? Knight of Coins. Like, it's funny. Knight of Coins can be just very stuck and still, and that's actually kind of the point. There's been so much going on around you that you've been really off kilter and constantly trying to be in perpetual motion to keep up or keep away, whatever this feeling is supposed to be. But there's something very stabilizing about by the end of the week, by the end of this little mini test, just to let this person play out who it is that they are, because it's going to give you permission to move forward, to actually recognize what thoughts are yours and what thoughts are running around rent free in your mind. It's so difficult when we say don't feed it because we're like, well, what is that supposed to mean? Being reserved within your energy is one way of not feeding it. And guys, you're going to feel guilty about it. You're going to feel ashamed. You're going to feel as though you're turning your back on someone that you love. That's this person's energy. You're only channeling what they went through as a child. Because if they had withholding parents, maybe they had a societal habit that made them feel less than about themselves. Like, bear in mind, they feel that way and it's not about you. They feel that way about their parents. They feel that way about a previous abuser. They feel that way about whatever situation that happened to them. This person has put you through something that had nothing to do with you in the first place. Daughter of Wands. Considering there's a lot of page energy, especially coming from this person. Yeah, there we go. Mother of Pentacles. Like this is a separation. You see the snake here along with the Queen of Pentacles, and now the snake is finally being differentiated from the Queen of Pentacles. There's an ask for you to really nurture your inner child at this time because you've been hurt, and it's like okay to acknowledge that you have been hurt, but don't expect this person to give you any kind of recompensation. The universe will reward you by walking away from it and claiming your own peace. What do we have? Tower. There's going to be a life-changing shift once you see this for what it is. And I like this. Like, believe it or not, it's one of those rare moments where I see the Eight of Swords. I'm like, I like this because what you're going to be experiencing, like in your mind space, you're going to feel guilty. You're going to feel as though you're abandoning somebody that you love. You're going to be feeling a lot of things, but they're actually not emotions, these are your thoughts, and these are somebody else's thoughts that you've been picking up on. What you're going through is normal, and don't allow this to hold you back. There we go, because it's deception, because it's not yours. This entire time, you've been talking to the wrong person in the back of your mind. You might have thought you were talking to God, thought you were talking to your intuition or your sense of internal accountability, and it's been deceptive because you've been going through a lot, and you've always wanted to make sure that you're kind and generous person because you were taught to do so, but you've been kind and generous to all of the wrong energies, and you've been taken advantage of. You guys are in a really good place to start magnetizing your true wealth, but the universe is protecting you by keeping things locked down, unattainable, not getting the right answers at the right time, because this needs to go. This energy needs to go. It's not just this person or this community, it's your very being that allows these people to jump in the first place. It's going to be very important that you practice compassion, self-forgiveness, but earlier in the main reading, really establishing your boundaries. And in a lot of ways, this person's going to test your boundaries. And every single time they go to test it, make sure they get stronger, not weaker. Someone who loves you unconditionally, they will honor your boundary. That's why some of you have felt abandoned by people that you thought they would support you to the ends of the earth. But when you started entertaining this person, you might have felt abandoned by people that you loved. They were practicing their boundaries because you were behaving in a way that was hurting them. Now it's time for you to take the example of those that you may have thought at first had abandoned you, but really recognizing they were practicing self love because they've taught you something subconsciously to get you out of this situation. You will be able to reconnect with these people, and you will be able to reconnect with your wealth once this situation has been removed from your life. So, let's ask the Wizard of Azanon deck for what is the best high vibrational energy that you will be able to embody for this particular week so that you can find victory over your mind and victory within your soul so that you can get into alignment to reestablish yourself on the wealthy path without having to be torn down by bullies. We have rescued, I like that, rescued, reflections, divination, intuition, inner vision. Write what it is that you truly want out of your own life. And trust that whatever it is you truly want and desire will be magnetized towards you. And the things that are no longer in alignment to who you are, they are going to follow away. You're being asked to really trust the process of what the universe is trying to put you through in order to rescue you from a very karmic situation. Anchor yourself in by writing it down. Feel bold enough to make declarations to the universe. What do you truly want out of your life? Continue to work towards resources, teachers that will help you connect to your own intuition. And those are the people that will always encourage you to honor how it is that you truly feel. I'm just saying, wow. Well, pile number one, my cute little piglets. However it is your week manifests for you, damn. I sincerely hope that this helped. Thank you so much for sticking around. If you like my style, please make sure to like the video on the way out. And if you're kind of curious and need some assistance with the following week, I highly recommend that you subscribe. And until I see you at the next one, I'm wishing you peace, love, and all the berries. Hey there, pile two. If you are here, you've picked the bee spirit. Sweet results await. Like, despite the energy that we could associate with the honeybee buzzing around, doing your thing, this energy feels very still. Like, I keep hearing that song. It's like, take it easy, take it easy. Like, don't let those crazy people drive you crazy. You may lose, you may win, but you will never be here again. No, there's actually something that's coming to an end, and there's actually an ask for you to really take it easy on yourself. Um, the surrounding energies around you, they're very deceptive, and they may feel as though they're stinging you and poking at you, but I'm going to shuffle here. Can you put yourself into a state of relief? You never have to deal with this ever again. Like, a few of you might be worried, if you get rid of this person, what if they come back into my life? What if the same problem comes back into my life? What if I'm never able to be loyal to the ones that I love? What if I fuck up again? The woulda, coulda, shouldas, they're not your divine guidance, and they aren't your intuition. That's actually an old paradigm that you've picked up from your bullied energy that's made you believe that you cannot take authorship of your own life. And it's because, more than likely, because I saw the busy bee, and usually bees are like, you've been more than likely perpetually restless, if that makes any sense. It's sort of like, okay, well, I got to do this. Well, now I have to do that. Well, I have to do this. Now I have to do that. And then you run yourself ragged. You're exhausted. You're actually going against your own energy. Page of Swords decided to fall out. You're going against your own energy, and then you're really disappointed with the results. And in some ways, you guys have actually gotten ahead of yourself, where you know the theory of magnetism, you know the theory of the law of attraction, and you are able to speak it out loud, but you're being guided to slow down and allow your manifestation to finally catch up to you. So I'm not going to cut because this came out Hermit. So this is a confirmation about, this needs to be a very internalized week. You are working towards your North Star, your true north, and it may feel as though you do have to take a big, huge gamble on life. But when we saw earlier that North Node, South Node energy, when you enter into your North Node, and that's your destiny, that's your destined path, whatever aligns to what it is that you truly desire in your reality. And you can probably, actually, you're being guided. If you don't know your life path number, just do a quick little internet search, calculate my life path number, and all you need is your birthday in order to get that out, and you get some resources. Seven of Cups, like this card kept showing up in the other timeline. There's been so much confusion with the other timeline. It's confusion with the external community, but this pile feels more like internal confusion, because you really thought that you were doing the right thing. So what's the external energy? Six of Pentacles. Oh man, like, you've had things a little bit backwards, and you might have assumed uh there's some assumption here, and I'm losing my voice again. It's as though you've been trying to yell it from the rooftop. You've been trying to get people's attention. You've been trying to almost yell your manifestations into existence. And it feels almost like it's backfired. But I think what really has been going on is that you've been over dedicated to an external community. You've been very generous, but it's sort of hit and miss with what has been going on. Like, let's have a look at your side of the energy. Nine of Swords. Like, there's just, like, I'm hot and flushed, and I feel almost sick to my stomach, as though you've been too sweet to everybody else. It's sort of like you're an adult that went to a candy store and consumed way too much sugar, and you're feeling ill, and as though, is this feeling like, oops, I did it again, or why did I do that? It's, your energy is very creepy crawly right now. And part of it is because I feel as though you've already released this, and your neurology actually does need to catch up to where it is that you are at. That's why you are being very heavily guided to slow down and maybe start everything from a little bit of a fresh mindset, because you know how to speak things into existence, but you don't quite know how to receive it yet. You've been super generous, and you've been way too overgiving to whatever the situation is. Now let's get some cards here. Oh, and I quickly show you. I do have the Empress. Like, you have the ability to bring exactly what it is you need into the world, and it's sort of as though you were taught to be generous as a child, especially if you were somebody who had access to money, means, opportunities, and you always felt bad that you were around people who were upset that they didn't have access to these things. Like, there's a piece of you that wanted to be philanthropic about it, but the moment that you showed up, they took too much. and you didn't know how to have that boundary. And it's sort of like you showed up and said, "Here's $5," and the person came back and asked for 50, and you felt a little bit bad. And then they came back and asked for 500. They totally had a good reason, and then you felt bad. It's sort of a little bit of the giving tree, if any of you are familiar with that particular children's book. And there's a couple different ways people can look at that book. One of them is being generous no matter what, but the other half of it is allowing other energies to take too much from you. And I feel this week, because we do have the card of the hermit, there's an ask for you to really start practicing your no. There's Five of Swords. It came straight back. Five of Swords, Six of Pentacles. You're gonna have an energy that's approaching you this week that's gonna be asking for something else. Maybe you're already secure, like maybe you have the job, maybe this person, they're self-employed and they're not making enough money to make rent, or maybe they're underemployed, or maybe there's something going on where they feel like they don't have access to some kind of resource. Like I feel like whatever this energy is going to be, they're going to try and come back in, and this is sort of your reaction. You're like, oh, like I already gave you enough, like why? Because this person or the situation, they don't know how to deal with their money, so it's a constant drain, and unfortunately you've accidentally become somebody's piggy bank. This doesn't have to be just money. This could be sucking up all of your time, like constantly calling you, telling you about their problems, or they never pay for dinner, always asking for a loan. Like this energy's asked way too much of you. Like I think for a lot of you, this is more so this person feels it's totally okay to call you at any time and talk about their problems, and you give them way too much space and leeway. I think that's going to be applicable for most of you. What do we have up here? Yeah, Four of Cups. Like you need to listen to this. If somebody calls you, somebody connects with you, and this is your reaction, like you have to start learning how to listen to your own emotions. Like, yeah, they got a sad story, but they're approaching you from the semblance of a child, and they think that you're an adult piggy bank. You know, money doesn't grow on trees, but apparently you grow money. And you have no problem being generous, but there's something about this energy that's draining you because they're already drained themselves. Queen of Pentacles. Wow. Like if you guys are having a difficult time trying to discern if you were going to be timeline 1 or timeline 2, like I'm seeing a lot of crossover cards. There's a lot of similar things going on. So if you started here, I do recommend going back to the first pile because this is internal while the other pile is more external. But there's something about in here about what you thought it meant to be generous that needs to be called up to question, because there's going to come to a point where you're both going to be broke. And who does that benefit? Nobody wins. What else do we have? 10 of Wands. Like their burdens have become your burden. Like in like the law of the energetic exchange, if someone brings you a burden, they need to bring you the gift. But it's sort of like you're paying them to for them to dump their problems onto you. Like, are you a dump truck company? Like, that's the only time that energy makes any sense. You guys are going into a timeline where you will be able to start helping people, where you will be able to start magnetizing clients and customers and like people that they know you have the answer to something and they know they need to compensate you for it. You know, even if it's just like, okay, buy me a beer and I'll give you some advice, at least it's something there. But this person, they're always in their woes. And, you know, every so often, if you got someone that you love and care about, you can take them out for the proverbial beer. It's like, okay, tell me what's going on. But that only works with people that they're so tamped down and they don't know where to go and they're completely lost. And they only need like that once. Like you do that for somebody once, and if they take advantage of it and they heal, great. But if they come back and expect you to constantly buy drinks for them, you got an addict. Like, there's something about you recognizing what addictive behavior is, and it's not just, oh, I drank too much. It's they're taking too much and they can't even properly use whatever resources that they take. You've been entertaining a taker. It's just someone's going, money, please. Oh, I need to do some more shopping so I can look sexy for you. Money, please. Like, I can't take this energy seriously because it's just making me go, oh my fucking God, you again? Another way that you might be reacting is it's like when they message you, how's your blood pressure? When they mention you, how are you feeling? Like there's actually an ask for you to really think about how it is that your body is reacting because it's confusing you. Your mind and your body are not well connected because you've been entertaining this energy way too long. Let's have a look at this Nine of Swords over here. Whenever I look on this side, I am hot, I am flushed, and that is frustration. There's an ask within here to say you're frustrated with this energy and you've overgiven to it. Um, and I think you did. I'm drawn towards this card that popped out halfway through. Don't let pride get in your way. There's a motivation that made you generous in the first place, and you have to have a very honest look at it. It's nice it's nice when people are grateful towards you. It feels so good. There is some satisfaction of knowing that you helped somebody and they showed gratitude. But there was actually something within that exchange. Well, there's nothing wrong with it. You started expecting gratitude. Well, this person's expecting a gratuity. Like you're like both of you are actually expecting something. And there's an ask within yourself internally why you were generous in the first place because your generosity was karmic and it was to show off. I'm sorry to say, your guides are trying to point out to you how you've been trying to show off. And as a result, you've been having energies that are draining you and they're showing up, but it means that there's a trauma bond you need to recognize because this will keep becoming a problem. It'll interfere with your job, it'll interfere with your purpose, it'll interfere with your life path until you get this completely sorted out. We got the Lovers, Page of Swords. So there's a connection right here. Like there's for you an ask for you to start learning how you magnetize this relationship in the first place. The Lovers is also known as the choice and who it is that we choose to share our energy with. How are they the same as us, even if they look different? There's something superficial about the types of energies you wish to be generous about that you're being asked at this time. Do some reading, do some journaling. There's an ask to really do the internalized work so that you can understand something about yourself because this is a very blinding situation. When I sometimes sit here and look at it, your third eye wants to shut down. It's like, I can't look at that. I don't have the energy to look at that right now. And that's actually part of the problem. Going internally is going to be the best starting point. So, what do we have right here? Four of Wands, Four of Wands, Ten of Cups, Three of Pentacles. Yeah, like the universe is calling you out right now. Sorry, not sorry. Like you really were showing off your generosity. Like you were really showing off what it is that you had. Like you felt bad that other people didn't have what you had, but you didn't know any better. It doesn't make you a bad person. You just didn't know any better. And you started showing off like all your wealth. You wanted to have a party. Like you wanted to it's sort of like you kept bringing everybody into your life that you felt like they could use a leg up in the world. And this is going to apply like to anyone who has a life path of five, because life path of five can be a lot about community and bringing people together and how does society interact with themselves, like how to have fun through difficult times. You were well intended, but there's something about within this experiment that you need to change because your ego has gotten in the way and it's magnetized all kinds of people that they see your happiness and they don't really know how to establish their own wealth. They don't know how to establish their own happiness. And here's the thing, you didn't know how to establish your boundaries. Like earlier up here, where we had the card of boundaries, you gave a little and then you gave too much. And these people got really used to you hosting all the parties. Like I knew one guy where he'd host like some of these raging parties. Like he was one of those types where he got a lot of money from a tech bro startup, and he basically retired in his 40s, and he's been living his life pursuing his dreams. But for the longest time he used to host parties and he provided all the drugs, and it took him a few years to realize some people, they only showed up because they got free drugs, not because they wanted to celebrate with him, not because they wanted to have a good time. They robbed him blind in terms of this person's generosity, and this person had to put up some new boundaries. It's like, bring your own booze, bring your own drugs. Like, and it doesn't have to be that extreme, but a lot of the energies that I talk to are people who are coming from, whether if it's like, sex parties, or being in a party hard lifestyle, multiple love partners. Like, a lot of the people that I divine to are trying to find their way out of the sex, drugs, and rock and roll lifestyle, because it's not fulfilling them in the way that they thought it was supposed to in the first place. Because we're all making it up as we go. But there's an ask within here to start being more selective with who you wish to work with, because not everybody in your energy is interested in growing up. Not everybody within your energy is interested in actually collaborating. Because one of the ways you're going to be able to break this stupid cycle is knowing that, hey, wait, if you are also interested in personal growth, then I can be generous with you. Oh yeah, you're interested in this, like I have some skill within that, and there's something about you have a skill that will be able to help me. There's an ask for, you can still collaborate, but there's something about learning how to co-create as opposed to just blow off all the cocaine. There's a shift that's occurring that has a lot to do with what's making you truly happy with the people that you have been interacting with. So, like, this is a pretty enlightening week. I think a lot of you guys are stepping into. That said, like, it's Friday night. What kind of night are you going to have? Is it going to be disappointing as fuck? Are you going to be partying hard? Or are you going to be looking at a way to collaborate further with your friends? Oh, interesting. Okay, I'm going to grab this 901s because this is the clarifier deck. What's TGIF? The Tower. Holy shit. If this is resonating with you, and you haven't yet, go check out pile 1. We also got the Tower in a similar position. Like, there's just something about knowing where you're powering your energy through that's going to shift where you can still be generous. There was nothing wrong with you being generous in the first place, but you were being generous with people who weren't interested in their personal growth. There's an ask for you to really shift your personal standards as to who it is you consider to be a friend, who is worth fostering, mentoring, and who can challenge you in return. And it's reducing it down to like just a couple of people as opposed to an entire fucking tribe. Like, yeah, sure, you're out here partying it up, you got 100 people inside that tent. Like, the fire marshal is going to be called soon if you don't kick some of these people out. It's this is actually a borderline dangerous situation that you have accidentally magnetized into your life, where I'm talking about drugs, but it's also being disconnected from your intuition, that you make brutal mistakes, and your subconscious habits, you don't listen to yourself properly in this energy. We do have 7 of Pentacles, 2 of Cups. Like, this is an encouragement. Like, if you're trying to figure out what is actually worth powering through, like the Tower over here, we have the lionfish. We got Leo, lion, full moon, but the lionfish is actually an invasive species, and it destroys everything within its path. And there's an ask within your life. Can you just acknowledge what is dead and what is alive? There's some root rot going on underneath the surface, and it's contaminated your ability to have healthy relationships. And a lot of you, this is a wifey energy. A lot of you just wanted to have like a life partner that you could just take care of, and all they had to do was love you in return. Um, and you kept magnetizing people who just couldn't get their shit together because it was underneath the surface. You didn't want to disturb what was going on. You didn't know how to dig deep at the time. So you had to work on the surface. But there's a lot of answers that you're going to be getting this week. Yeah, Queen of Wands, how people have been just sort of showing off as opposed to showing up. You've been very addicted to these energies. We're like, yeah, let's party, let's do the thing. Come on, guys. Like, this is a fun, addictive energy. Like, I've been this person. I can still be this person. But a lot of the time, people, when they're pouring too much energy out into the world, they're being a showman about it. A lot of it is because they're masking, because you've had something go on deep down inside that you haven't had a chance to acknowledge. That's why this week you have to do a lot of internal work. It's kind of one of these things, if you've been accustomed to going out on Fridays, and partying over the weekends, being with friends, catching up on this, and, you know, there's an ask for you to kind of take it back around and maybe just have a quiet Friday. Just kind of be by yourself. In some ways, get to know what it's like being quiet again. There we go. Four of Swords, learning how to be quiet, along with the Empress came back. Um, you've been partnering up with people that have created lackluster results. And if you've noticed, all of your ideas don't lead to this sense of establishment, it's because you've been co-creating with the wrong energy. And if you're sitting here, I'm like, how do I co-create with the right energy? You have the answers internally, and it means you have to do a little bit of a life review. Be honest with yourself about who these people are. Like, even in some ways, be judgmental. Like, don't be judgmental to this face. Don't back shit talk them behind their back with your judgmentality. What is it about this energy that you judged? And what is it that made you think that if you threw money at it, it could fix it? That's your first motherfucking clue to get past this bullshit. You have to do some deep shadow work to understand something about yourself because you're a good person. Everything's up here, but notice how my voice gets high pitched and borderline obnoxious. That's Queen of Wands being annoying. But there's a shift within here. You're going to learn how to connect with your feminine energy, connecting to the higher self, the person who it is that you truly are, being reconnected to God's source and the universe. Because you've been listening to third party feminine energies, what you were taught, what you were shown by humans. But this is something, I want to make an extraterrestrial joke. Why? Because it's funny. But you are being asked to consider, because we have like napping here, napping there. You need to slow down. You need to allow your manifestations to catch up to you, and you have to allow these energies to run away from you. In some ways, they have so much momentum. If you just kind of stopped, they would keep running up ahead and then they would lose you. It's that kind of feeling. So, what kind of energy can my sweet little bees in pile two embody for this upcoming week in order to help them connect to self, connect to higher self, and just be able to see people for who it is that they are, being emotionally compassionate, detached from the outcome, and recognizing where things were rotten underneath the surface? We have the harmonic oscillator, timing, rhythm, synchronicity, and frequency. You're going to be having a huge synchronization uptick. So look for numbers, frequencies 3, 6, 9, seeing numeric patterns. You can look up to see what those numbers mean because every single number has its own message. The universe also knows you supremely well. So look for the things that matter to you. You're going to be getting little glimmers in the weeks ahead, and you're going to be having these divine moments where you'll hear something on the news or you'll listen to somebody else's conversation and you'll recognize, I saw that. I thought about that. I heard about that. Keep that shit to yourself. Nobody else will understand what it is that you're talking about at that time. Those messages are purely for you. The universe is having to resynchronize you onto your ideal highest frequency timeline, and it requires you to step away from whatever this is that you've been co-creating with. This isn't the end, it's just the beginning. Trust the universe is using the equals and the opposites, the similars and the differences in order to help you understand yourself, who it is that you truly are, so that you can get back onto your divine path and be able to walk into your purpose. I'm just saying. Wow. Well, whoever it is that you guys are, damn, I sincerely hope that this helped. Thank you so much for sticking around. If you like this style, please make sure to like the video on the way out. And if you need some help going through this particular challenging process, I highly recommend that you subscribe. And until I see you at the next one, I'm wishing you peace, love, and all the berries.